Welcome back. We are here to do an Alien Predators character tier list. Just did the movies. Before I forget all these characters, I'm going to do a characters tier list. I have 173, mostly that I got off like their Wikipedia pages or whatever of key characters. Hopefully, I got most of them. I don't have like aliens or predators in here. The creatures. These are the characters. I don't have any pets in here. These are like the human synth characters from the films or the show, like Alien Earth. Um, I have quite a few categories here. I tried to with 173 characters, split it out enough where I didn't like clump them all into one group, but I will rank them at the end. So throw them in tier list to start. I will admittedly, I'm sure, move several around as I calibrate other characters as I go. Some will like rise up, some may fall. But I organized the characters by movie, so we'll go through like a movie and then the next one or next movie show. Helps me to keep straight, especially some of the ones that maybe aren't as memorable. But anyway, the categories I have here are supreme. These are the best, the best. The awesome are awesome characters, obviously. Great is a little less than awesome. It's a great character. It's just not quite like really, really great. Good character helped advance the show. Was solid. Didn't really do anything special, but was good enough. I have okay in there. I didn't know if I needed this, but I wanted something that was like, I didn't really mind them. Like, I didn't think they were good or bad. They just were there. Forgettable is a category I'm kind of holding back for characters that just were in the movie and I totally kind of forgot that they were there. They didn't really take me out of it, but they didn't do anything. Dumb characters are characters that like distracted me because of how dumb they were. And then extremely bad are those characters where I was just like, what's the deal? This is terrible and annoying. So, well, see how that goes. I try to keep it kind of normalized, so most should fall toward the middle, and I'll just probably move a little bit at the end if it gets too heavy one way or the other. But I also won't move them if they need to be in that category for sure, and then I'll rank them at the end. Don't know how many videos this is going to take. 173 is quite a bit. Who knows how much I'm going to talk. Some characters will be like a split second. The others will take a little bit, I'm sure. So the good news is we start with Alien. We are starting with what was like my third preferred film in the rankings. A lot of classic characters. Well, not too many characters, but the characters who were in it were classic for the most part. So we start with Ash. Ash is an interesting one to start with because he is a synth. You don't know that going into the movie, and you're watching, and he seems human, and then he ends up getting cut open, and you see he's not bleeding. He's got like synthetic fluid or whatever they have. He is a company synthetic, Weyland-Yutani, so he is trying to get the alien back home at all costs. That's a familiar theme throughout. Willing to sacrifice people, humans, all that stuff. Willing to kill to do what he needs to do. So great. The actor was great. You felt like ticked off at him. I will say this too. I probably should have qualified like in terms of how I'm going to rank it. I really don't have a method. It's more or less just like how did I feel about the characters, personality? Did it fit in with the movie? Did it like help advance the movie, make it better? Um, Probably that's my main criteria, and then just like some of it is, and that maybe fits into that criteria, like how did they make decisions and do stuff within the show? Was it sensical? But I also don't want to like hold some of these characters to like how good or bad the movie was itself. But I can at least attach a bit of the value they added to the movie. So that's probably what it is. So Ash had a lot of value with Alien, I thought. I will start him in the good category. I don't want to like overinflate folks. There's a chance he could move, but he's a good character that I enjoyed. All right, Harry Dean Stanton, the classic actor for Alien. Brett is his name in the movie. Brett is the unfortunate, I think, first victim after the chest buster. death on the ship. Is chasing the cat, ends up getting the alien behind him. It's really the first time you see the grown alien, and then he meets his maker. Um, but this is one of those movies that does an awesome job of just giving every character some bit of personality that makes you care. Like you don't want him to die. You're just like, oh no, and then he dies and it sucks. But if I recall, there's a funny scene where he's saying right after everything. They ask him something and he says right, right. um, so a lot of cool little things, and he's got a good personality, fits in with the rest of the crew. I liked him a lot. I'll have him in the good as well. I'm going to start kind of there, and then as I go, I'll start moving him around a bit. All right, we have a key player here, Dallas. So Dallas is the captain, I believe, of the Nostromo and the and Alien. Tom Skerritt, famous actor. I think he was probably the lead actor going into this movie. Again, I think I said this in the other video, but I assume most people thought he would be the hero, like survive. He does not. He ends up going into the vents, I think, and trying to capture him. And they're like, getting closer, and all of a sudden you see the alien jump up. So credit to the creatures, effects people. Um, Dallas was a good character because he's like not an overzealous captain or anything. He's just trying to do captain things for like this ship that's not a special ship in any regard. Seems kind of like down to earth. You do get frustrated with him because you kind of know, things are going the wrong direction and he's making these decisions. It's like, man, stop listening to Ash or stop doing what you're doing. But he tries to do the right thing, tries to be heroic. He's not like backing down. I do like Dallas a lot. I'm going to have him in the great category. All right, we have Ripley. Actually, this is a picture from Aliens, but Ripley is in 1, 2, 3. Aliens, Alien 3, as well as her clone. But I have her clone as a separate character. So Ripley is an alien, just a crew member, and you're just seeing her as like one of the regular crew. She doesn't really differentiate herself at all to me, like at the beginning. And then, as things go south, she becomes a heroic figure and is the survivor, which is awesome. But, kind of the quintessential like female lead hero, the best written female lead hero I've seen. Because she's like earned everything along the way. Everything's kind of like, just a little bit of intelligence enough to get through the situation, or a little bit of cleverness, but not some like over crazy ability she has to jump, 20 feet to do something or anything. She's just being herself. Then in Aliens, she goes back, but they do a good job of like framing, the kind of post traumatic stress she has, obviously from the first one, and that she had come out of hypersleep. She's in the future. She had a daughter who died. They show that in the extra scenes or the director's cut. So she had a lot like going on, and then she ends up going back. She has to, help the Marines. She's often showed as the courageous one of like, get the people out of there, the caring one, like do something different, even though the Marines. Then they find Newt. She is very motherly to Newt, protective, courageous to go save her, and then just a badass. Like there's no other way to say it. She's a badass. Like she goes in and she's got her weapons. She runs into the Queen. Just great use of the character in movie making, because it's not like she's just so brave and courageous. She just stares down the Queen and does no. She's like thinking through the situation. She's stressed out about where she is and does the best she can with it, and kind of it's like a negotiation, and she backs her way out, and then she blows everything to hell, which was super cool. And then the alien Queen comes back, and she does the famous suit donning, which they did a good foreshadowing to earlier in the film as well. Her kind of proving her worth. So awesome character there. And then in Alien 3, she is in that role again. She's on a weird planet with a lot of guys and just a weird situation and a weird movie. But Ripley's great as always, and ends up being the hero as she has a queen infested in her and comes out as she's falling into a pit of lava, and she like holds it in so it doesn't escape or anything, and kind of does the Terminator, what was later done or earlier done in Terminator 2. She did a little bit later. So, yeah, great character all the way through. Classic character, kind of the best um, model for how to do this. Unfortunately, I think in all of the other Alien movies, they try to kind of replicate that to lesser extents. Spoiler alert. Um, okay, Kane. Kane is the first death, really. The chest buster comes out of Kane. When you've never seen Alien, you don't know what's going on. He's just a normal dude within the crew. I didn't think he really stood out too much. Like he's just kind of fine, and then has that, and then they panic and comes off, and he wakes up, and you think he's good, and then all of a sudden he starts convulsing when they're eating, and then the whole chestbuster scene. So that was the end of Kane. He was really there to die. Now, my understanding is, or I was told, he was kind of a famous actor going into this as well, so people probably thought he wasn't going to die quickly, but he did. Kane, I'll have him as okay for now. He was fine for me. Like, could he have been replaced by another character or something? I think so, and I wouldn't have thought anything of it. So that's why I'll start him there. All right, we have Lambert. Lambert is part of the crew as well. Lambert is always, once the alien stuff goes on, she's the one panicking. She's the one who's like stressed out about it. It's not like overbearing and bad where you're just distracted, like, okay, calm down. It's kind of just warranted and like part of her character, which is good. um she dies a grisly death, kind of, you hear her screaming and a bunch going on there. um and I'll have her an okay as well to start. A lot of these may move up, but she was, again, one. If it was somebody else, I don't know that I would have like really thought too differently, but could be wrong. And then the last one here, small cast, we have Parker. So Parker is, he's always had that sweet headband on. He's kind of a brave dude. Probably had a good chance at killing the alien, or at least harming it a good bit when Lambert was getting killed, but he wouldn't do it because Lambert was there. So he ended up getting killed as well. But I liked his personality a lot. He had good back and forth with a lot of the crew members on there, and I will have him in the good category as well. So only a few in Alien, but we'll keep going. Okay, now we have Alien 3. So Alien 3, and I said this in the other or in the movie tier list, has a very large amount of generic characters. I felt like it's hard when you're on this prison planet and they're all like these white guys with bald heads and they all kind of act moderately similar. It's just, a bunch of prisoners. There's a couple that might stand out a little differently, but for the most part, I'm sure some of these I'm going to be like, what? Wait, what? Who are they? Like, what did they do? So we'll start here, and I hope I have the names right on these. This is Alan Jude. I don't even know if they use their names all that much in the movie, honestly. So Alan Jude, I vaguely remember him in the scene where they're like closing corridors and trying to stop the alien, to corner him into getting hit by the blast furnace or what have you. He was okay. I remember him, but I don't. If it was somebody else, it'd be fine. We have an interesting one here. This is Bishop 2. So I know we haven't done Aliens yet, but there's Bishop in Aliens. And so Bishop 2 is either a real person, we don't know, that maybe the Bishop android was made after, or it's another android that's just Bishop. The way he gets injured, it kind of seems to me like he's more of a synth, and I could be wrong. But again, also when you see later movies like Prometheus and Covenant, where you've got David and Walter and all, it's like, okay, and Rook and Ash and all that. It's like, okay, I think that's just the common trope. You've got the multiples. So I'm going to say that he is. Now he's more of the Ash version, the company kind of guy. Um, he's fine. He's menacing. I liked that he was there at the end, honestly. I'll start him in. I'm going to end up moving some of these around, I'm sure. Okay, I'll start him in good. Let's leave it at that. Okay, then we get down. Let me just expand this a little bit so I can see their names. Let's see, Dylan. This is Dylan. So Dylan maybe related to the Dylan in Predators or in Predator. I don't know. Could be, maybe not. Probably not. But anyway, Dylan is a good character. He's also in the movie Rudy, is where I remember the actor. But Dylan was kind of the voice of reason. He's the one that protected Ripley when they were attacking her. I don't know, maybe trying to rape her. Can't quite remember the scene, but anyway, he comes and saves her. He is the one who like is the smarts in a lot of ways, and then he ends up sacrificing himself to try to like keep the alien in the whatever the vat or whatever it is where they pour the hot liquid in to try to keep it. So he does a good job. I like him. I will have him in the good category. Okay. Then we get to, and I do not remember this guy's name, Francis. Yeah, Francis Aaron. So Francis to me was the guy who kind of like I think he worked for the prison. Wasn't a prisoner, but worked for the prison. And then was he the one that tried to help her? It's kind of forgettable because I'm trying to make sure with these other guys it wasn't one of them. But I think it was him, and I'll have him as okay as well. I'm going to move this guy down to forgettable because I don't remember him as much as these guys. And then we go to Gregor. I think Gregor, I just, he had a few lines when they're trying to like rally the people together for what they need to do to capture the alien, etc. I can't remember if he was one that tried to hurt Ripley or if he got hurt from an alien, like why he's injured there. But again, he's kind of forgettable. These people don't detract from the movie. I'm not like going, oh my gosh, this guy's terrible. Why is he in this? So I'll just leave him there. Then we have Harold Andrews, who's works for the prison, and I think he's like the warden, maybe. Got glasses, so that probably tells you something. But as the warden, he is trying to like organize his men. They don't have weapons. He tells Ripley they don't have weapons. I thought he was fine. I mean, I thought he was okay as well. He just did his job. Okay, then we have Charles Dance's character, Jonathan Clemens. Clemens is a doctor. He was put on the prison planet because he had like accidentally, I think, was on drugs or something and killed patients. I don't remember exactly the story, but something like that he tells Ripley before he gets killed. I recognized the actor, so I thought he might survive longer. I couldn't remember if he did, and then he got killed maybe halfway through the movie. Felt like, but he was the doctor, and he was helping Ripley to try to recover. I thought he was fine. I thought he was memorable. I'll have him as good. Didn't have a problem with his acting or anything. I thought he was an effective character. All right, then we go to Robert Morse. Robert Morse is forgettable to me. Is that the one that like survived at the end? I think it is. But again, these last few are probably forgettables. Ted Jr. Gillis. That might have been one that attacked her, but yeah, I cannot remember. So I'm gonna have him in forgettable. Not none of these guys were like, oh my gosh, this guy was so dumb. Thomas Murphy. is this, Forgettable, and Walter. I remember them a little bit, like I recognize them, but I don't remember their. Like Walter, I remember Walter dying. It was like he and another guy, maybe the guy next to him, who were like in the tunnels when the alien came and got him. All right, so Aliens or Alien 3 was honestly, they had some of the most forgettable characters again because of the prison setting. Everybody was kind of in the same boat. All right, Alien Covenant. I've got to like adjust my head to remember Alien Covenant. Again, there are some characters in this movie that are forgettable. There are some that are less forgettable. But I may, for the most part, I kind of recognize them. So I think I'm mostly good. There's a couple that I don't know. This first one, Anchor. I hope I got the name right. His last name's Anchor, I guess. I don't really remember him. I don't really remember him to say. I'm going to have him there unless I can kind of recall how he died and where he was. Okay, this guy I do remember. This is the first one that I think got sick. Ben Ledward inhaled the dust and ended up like getting sick and dying. I mean, he's replaceable. I'll have him as okay. It's like could have been anybody. Christopher Oram. This is the dude that ended up having to be the captain once James Franco passed, before we even saw James Franco in the movie. He made some dumb decisions. I'm not gonna like say a character's dumb because all the captains and stuff tend to do that in these movies. I didn't think his character was all that dumb. The movie was dumb. Yeah. I'm gonna have to differentiate some here. I'm gonna have him as okay. Then we have, was this his wife? Yeah, Karine Oram. So she ends up dying in the little infirmary thing, I think, with the other lady. So when the xenomorph or whatever it was broke in and took her out, which was, the bad movie, but you have some stakes because it's like your spouse is in there kind of thing. Now, did it always feel like it was the weight of a spouse dying? To me, it didn't. But her husband didn't die until later, whenever he got like tricked to getting face hugged by David. So she died earlier. I don't know that he mourned it that much. But yeah, I kind of thought her character was, we'll say okay for now. Some of these are going to move down to dumb once I get to like reconciling. Now, that said, we are going to let's see here. Her name is Catherine Daniels. Catherine Daniels, the female hero of Covenant, goes and does spectacular things at the end that I don't really remember that much. Personal thing, I know, and it's no offense to the actress or whatever, I could not stand her character. I don't know what it was. I was like, this is the worst, like, Ripley clone, whatever, because she always just looked like she was sad or like stressed and I don't know. That look on her face right there is pretty much it. It was what it felt like the whole movie. I in no way felt like she was a hero or deserved to be a hero. And again, I don't really even remember, how I know she died in the pod. Well, didn't die, died off screen, I guess, when David kind of put them in sleep at the end. But yeah, she just didn't feel like she deserved it. So I didn't like her. Kind of ruined some of the movie for me. All right. Maggie Ferris is another wife. I think she's the wife of Tennessee down the road here. So Maggie also dies in the same place where the Orem Karine, whatever her name is, died. Don't know if she died first or second. I can't remember. But anyway, the whole thing blew up and then they both died. I thought, I don't know, her character kind of got on my nerves too. Something about it. Something I have her as dumb. I don't remember if it was a personality decision she was making. It just she threw me off. We have Rix. So I think Rix and his wife or girlfriend, or whatever, and Tennessee were the ones that stayed on the Covenant. Rix, though, ultimately died having sex with his wife in the shower, where the alien killed both of them. I think he got stabbed through the mouth. He seemed okay. He was kind of loyal and fine. Like I didn't mind his character. I'll have him an okay for now. Okay, man. So Sergeant Lope. There's a couple here that is gay. I think it's Lope and Tom Hallett and a couple. But I honestly didn't really like even, I mean, not that it matters. I didn't really like pick up that they were together for some reason. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. And it just like when he died, it was like there was this gravity. And I'm like, what? Why do they care so much? And then it was that, I guess. And I just didn't pick it up. Um, he was forgettable to me. Like I just did not really remember how he died. Um, Face hugger maybe just no, I don't know. Can't remember. And then Tennessee. So Tennessee is distracting because the actor is quite famous in multiple things, Danny McBride, and so he's a character I like in a lot of things. I don't know if he was really cast well to be in this movie, to be in the show. It's probably like an Alien fan, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll get you in the movie." They're going for the country, country ship pilot deal. But he was fine. I mean, I enjoy him because it's Danny McBride, and so like I'll just say he was good. I mean, I enjoyed having him in the movie because the rest of the movie was kind of bad, and I'm like, at least I get to see him. Okay, and then this is the guy I was mentioning. This is Tom, I think, Tom Hallett. So but again, he was forgettable to me too. I don't know how he died. Don't know. Didn't feel like I spent time with those three in a row right there. Like I can't remember those three. Okay, and then Upworth. So this is the wife of Rix that also died in the shower. She was a pilot. I liked her. I thought she was good. I mean, she was fine. Like, cool, hot girl co-pilot kind of deal. Was funny, snarky, that kind of thing. So she was fine. I liked her. And then we have Walter. So this isn't David. We were, we figured out David was in the movie, but we have David from Prometheus coming up later, so we'll do that later. But Walter is the synth. He's a similar version, but improved of David. David had too much human emotion, something like that. So we got a little exposition at the beginning, seeing David, I think, and then obviously that changes how we're going to program Walter because of what happened in Prometheus. You saw David, kind of acting a little bit more that way. So Walter's more, more like Bishop maybe in the second one. And then you get to a point where they fight, and then you think Walter survived, but it's really David that survived because David's acting like Walter. I don't know if I knew that twist going in because I hadn't seen Covenant until recently, but you just kind of suspected it. It felt weird, and maybe it was intentional, but it's like, he's not acting like a Walter would. I've got to know Walter well enough, but I liked Walter. I did. I thought he was Michael Fassbender did a fine job being Walter, so I'll have him as good. All right, we get to Alien Earth. All right. A lot of characters from Alien Earth. It's a show, so you have a few more characters. There's a couple of different components to this, and I'm not going to remember like the name of the ship that they had, but there is the ship crew part of this where they, just think of the original Alien. There's essentially a crew like that in a situation that happens like that. It's like you're doing Force Awakens for Star Wars. You're redoing Alien. Fine episode, derivative, fine episode. The rest of the show is on Earth, and you've got these combination of synth characters and cyborg characters, who's actually from the ship, and then you got this like hybrid model where you've got a synth body, but they're like taking kids who are terminally ill and putting them in these bodies. It's like the first version of that. So much of the show is more, I thought, exposition on like the humanity of synthetics and like what to do going forward versus it being a show about Alien. They do have the alien monsters in there, plus other aliens like the eyeball monster. Everybody talked about all the time. I don't think they really paid that off at all, but people loved it. And then there were, oh, here's a xenomorph, but it ends up being like Blue on Jurassic World, where it's a pet and it's kind of weird. So anyway, all these characters have something to do with that plot in this world. I'll try to differentiate the ones on the ship. Most of them you can kind of tell because it's got the ship behind them, but the others will be on Earth. All right. So the first one we have here is the doctor, Arthur Sylvia. He and his wife, Dame Sylvia, she's over here, are the two key kind of doctors around the psychology of uploading these kids into these synth bodies. And they look like adults, but they're kids underneath. They call them the Lost Boys. The guy who runs the whole thing is very infatuated with Peter Pan, so you get that thrown in your face all the time. And then Arthur's kind of the man of reason. He and his wife, they are like, they care for the kids, they care for the people, they want things to be good. Arthur unfortunately gets fired later on because he does not conform to what needs to be done or doesn't agree with it, so he gets fired. And then after he gets fired, he gets murdered, chest busted. So he gets the face hugger to sneak an alien out of the compound, and then gets killed, and then at the very end gets the eyeball monster in him and wakes up like Weekend at Bernie's too. So who knows what's going to happen with that. That's the old spoiler alert, end of Alien Earth. I didn't mind his character. I thought he was fine. The show was difficult for me because some of it is good-ish and other parts are really dumb. I don't know. It's kind of polarizing even in my own head for some things. So Arthur was one though that I liked. I thought he was fine. He was good. So now that we're getting a little heavier on the goods, I'm going to just separate some here and say these guys are up toward the great. Just to keep it separate. Okay. Then we got Adam, I think Atom, like Atom. He's like a butler type dude for Boy Cavalier, the guy who runs the show. Feel like he has a British accent. I can't remember, but anyway, he's like an enforcer as well. Where once you get brought into the room with him, you're like, oh crap. But polite gentleman way of like prodding you and getting you to do things. You find out he's a synth that Boy Cavalier created. Puts up a fight, but like Wendy can somehow control all the synths, and so he just gets shut down, which was kind of dumb, but just critiques of the show. But anyway, he as a character was fine. He didn't distract me. Did I need him in there? Could he have been replaced compared to some of these other characters? He's okay. Yeah, he's okay. All right. Polarizing character here. Boy Cavalier. Okay, so Boy Cavalier is the leader of, and I can't remember the name of the city slash name of the company. There's like 5 companies that run the world. No, was it Protogen? Or am I making that up? Maybe making that up. Uh, but anyway, he owns that part of the world, whatever it is. He's a trillionaire, multiple trillions of dollars. He has the ship with the alien stuff crash into his city. That crashes into like building. And so then you've got a recon team that has to go try to get it, and he's like, "Oh, go get the aliens and stuff because we're gonna like keep it for ourselves. This is a Weyland-Yutani ship, and we're just gonna keep it. That's what they get for crashing into our city." Well, it turns out he actually sabotaged the ship by having somebody on the ship tear it apart or do something to it, and ultimately made it crash there. Now, did I really understand like how the guy got it to crash exactly there in like his part of the world? It's a big world. I didn't, but I kind of might have missed that. Uh, but anyway, it's there, and then so meantime, he's got his own things going on at home where he is trying to do, like I was saying, the Lost Boys thing. He's got these kids. Wendy's the first one. I can't remember Wendy's name when she was a little girl, but she's getting ready to die, so they transfer her mind over into the new body. Um, and it works, and then they have other Lost Boys. Um, he's very eccentric, very weird and crazy, doesn't wear shoes, walks around, jumps around, acting stupid. You wonder how he becomes a trillionaire if he's so dumb, but I know they're just like, trying to make it a bit of a trope. Um, Makes dumb decisions. There's so many dumb things where it's like, oh no, the whole facility's under, siege by these aliens. Let me just wander around random halls by myself as if I'm invincible. And like, you can argue, oh, he was kind of going crazy, but again, then how are you running a company? I didn't really get all that. Um, Also, it's like you don't have any way. You've created these synths and things, but you don't have a way just to shut them down for 5 minutes when you want to. Um, so yeah, just kind of some dumb things there. And ultimately, at the end, was just kind of captured by his people and was laughing it off. I guess like I was captured by the synths. Um, I also thought there was like a stupid scene where he and Weyland-Yutani were at a table or negotiating like uh, what it would cost to give the aliens back, and it was like $20 billion. Like, dude, you're a trillionaire. 20 billion is nothing for like an alien species, and it's like Dr. Evil on Austin Powers asking for $1 million. The company makes billions of dollars. It's like, yeah, might want to think through that one a little bit more. But I also know he had his own motives. He wasn't going to give the aliens back, or at least before other things were going on. So anyway, this character really got on my nerves by the end. I'm going to have him as extremely bad. Some people probably love him or think like he's this great villain in the show. I said it before. There's like it's the Spinal Tap. There's a fine line between clever and stupid, and he just strikes me as stupid. I think he said he built his first synth when he's like 6 years old. I'm like, what are we doing? We don't have to make this guy so absurd. Um, but he is. And so that's what you get. All right. Less memorable is the next guy we got here, who is Bronsky. Man, looking down the list of other characters here, I just don't remember Bronsky. Maybe it's probably like the guy that got like killed first or something and was sick. Cause no, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to put him in forgettable because he's just not ringing a bell unless I think of it. Sometimes it's just cannon fodder. You gotta have enough characters on the ship for it to kill in the corridors and those types of things. The next character I do remember. So this is Shibuzo, Chibuzo, Shibuzo. So she is like a scientist, and not the best scientist I've ever seen. So she works in a lab with the creatures. Um, they're in, these glass containers and they've got lids and everything. She like is working with something, leaves a lid off, uh, knocks something else over. It's like comedy of errors, kind of like, could you be any dumber? The eyeball monster's like looking at her, probably thinking like, "What the hell is she doing?" Because that's who she was. She meets her demise. I think looking at one of the guys who was dying of like lung thing and the acid or whatever. Not, it wasn't acid. It was like some sort of poison that came out, and they inhaled it. I think that's how she died. But I thought her character was dumb. Um, that's one where like dumb decisions and stuff impacted her, because I'm like, you don't, it doesn't have to be this egregious. Like, you can help the aliens get out with a little bit less stupidity than this. Like, oh, and one of the containers falls off a shelf onto the ground and breaks. It's like, maybe get glass in the future that doesn't break so easily for containing, alien creatures. And how they caught the alien creatures, yet we can't, we have a really hard time in the other movies, whatever. All right, another guy, Clem. Is Clem the one? I don't think so. Maybe he is. It's either Clem or whoever this guy is down here, and I can't remember his name. Malachite. I think it was Malachite. So I'm going to say I kind of forget Clem, and I could be getting this backwards, but I'm going to say he's forgettable because I don't remember him. Curly is next. Curly is one of the Lost Boys. She is a kid in a synth body. Curly is the very loyal one who doesn't question authority and like says, "Why are we acting this way? We can't do this." That role. She wants to be the favorite, but Wendy's the favorite, and she's like jealous. I don't know. It's like Tinkerbell or something in that regard. But yeah, so Curly, that's just kind of the role she plays. I thought she's okay. I mean, she wasn't bad and it wasn't good. She was there, so I was okay with her. All right. We have Dame. I mentioned Dame earlier. Dame is the wife of what was this now? Arthur. Yeah, Arthur up here. Dame is a scientist, and she is like the psychologist, but like the motherly figure for the character. So she'll have like in her office to do like psych evaluations and stuff. She has one of them come after her and almost kill her, like get crazy eyes, and she has to like call the security discreetly to do it. But she cares for them. She doesn't want them to be harmed. She wants everybody to be good. Now, there's some things where I like the writing can kind of start to ruin a character. It's like kind of stupid. So a good example is randomly she's like dressed in some sort of like gypsy outfit walking out to the graveyard of the kids, where the kids are buried, I guess, in the middle of the xenomorph running around the island killing everything, and is on alarm like, so why are we doing this now? And then of course has it come right in her face. She should have died if it wasn't like just thinking. And yeah, so that was like a stupid scene. But her in general, I thought she was fine as like a psychologist, and I enjoyed her character for who she was. I'll put her with her husband so I don't separate the two. She was fine. All right, then we have the courageous brother of Wendy. His name is Hermit. Hermit is like a medic in the Marines or whatever for the city, for the company. And he is the one who sees the ship coming in, and apparently nobody in the world sees this giant ship coming out of the sky, getting ready to hit this building, except for him. No radar, nobody sounding a siren, nothing, just giant ship. So he goes with his team to explore it. He, gets wrapped into this whole thing. He gets brought back to the island. He finds Wendy. He didn't know that she was still alive, kind of deal. Don't remember the exact thing. He tried to like visit her while she was sick and or getting put in the body, and like they wouldn't let him in. That got a whole misunderstanding. But he is, man, he's an annoying character for me again. Like, I'm gonna have him extremely bad. Like, I get it. He's supposed to be just a medic or something, but he's just in too many situations where like, why is this guy on the screen? Who cares? Like, just move along. Get somebody else in here. Get somebody that's going to do something of meaningful consequence. I mean, there's scenes he's in where like the eyeball monster's trying to get him, and he's just like trying to, which I never understood. Like, just grab the eye and can you not squash it? Maybe they tried. I can't remember. But yeah, he did all that. So I'm like, nah. All right, now we got a couple of other characters. Kirsch is the first one. So Kirsch is a bit to me of an homage to Roy Batty from Blade Runner, and he's got the hair and everything. He's a synth. I'll say this. So I watched Alien Earth first before all the other Alien movies and everything, or I'd seen some of them a long time ago, but I hadn't like rewatched them. It helped me to see the old movies again, to like remember how human some of the synth stuff was, so it wasn't like egregious when Kirsch was behaving a certain way. So whatever I felt while I was watching the show of like, ooh, should he really be acting that way, was kind of alleviated. He did a good job. So Timothy Olyphant's the actor here who's in like Justified. I enjoyed his character. I did. I mean, they did some dumb things, I think, with the writing, especially toward the end with like him fighting and like losing and what he kind of was doing and looking like. But he was always kind of the conniving one and the one like holding secrets, a little bit like Ash and those types of things. So I liked him. I thought he was a pretty good character. I'll have him up in the good category for now. Could move up. Yeah, could move up. Then we have Morrow. So Morrow is on the initial ship that the alien gets attacking. He is a cyborg. So he's, I think, the first cyborg we see where he's got like some metal prosthesis that comes out and does stuff. He's the one who like commandeers the ship. He knows that his orders are to get the alien back, and he shuts off the control room from one of the other characters. Ends up getting her killed, and then luckily before the alien breaks in, jumps into like a pod that saves him. Now he still somehow survives the crash. That's a giant crash with a giant ship. I don't quite understand how everybody survived, or he survived, but so be it. That said, he was a good character, I thought. When he gets back and he's on his feet, he escapes because he works for Weyland-Yutani. He ends up manipulating one of the Lost Boys to get the alien out. And then he ends up fighting Kirsch, which was fun. It was fun to see like a cyborg versus synth fight. I thought that was fine. So I'm going to have him up in the good category as well. Kind of made the show better. Okay, this is the guy I think that gets sick first on the ship. And I could be wrong, but Malachite. So like he ends up drinking water that has the alien stuff in it, and ends up getting like sick immediately. And then they put him in the ward, and he's the one who like explodes, and it's got like acid coming out. So whatever parasites got in him. He's, I think, the one that was doing that with this guy down here, and I can't remember his name. But anyway, he was fine. He was okay. I mean, I remember him. Again, I think it was him and not this other guy that I didn't remember down here. That one I just can't remember. All right, still got a few more characters to go. Then after Alien Earth, we'll stop probably on this one. Okay, this is Nibs. So Nibs is a lost boy. She has a very weird character arc. So she is in the ship looking around because they send the lost boys into the ship because they're a little stronger and can do whatever. She runs into the eyeball monster. The eyeball monster like attacks her, doesn't like get in or anything, but like freaks her out. She's a kid. Remember, these are, even though they look like adults, they're children. So she's freaked out by that, and then later on says she's pregnant, and it's like, what the hell's that mean? And everybody thinks she's kind of lost it. So she goes to Dame Sylvia. You know, they're like doing the psych eval, and she ends up like freaking out and almost killing Dame in the session. But then she immediately calms down because she's like a stuffed animal she holds on to, which was weird. So they like reset her, did something, and then she ends up just being a part of the attack party toward the end and gets shot by Hermit, not killed, but just like electrocuted, which causes this whole back and forth of, you know, oh, you're not with us, you're with the humans, blah blah blah. So I don't know what the hell that was. I have no idea what the whole like pregnancy thing was. I might have just missed it. It was kind of weird. I thought this character was kind of dumb. Like, it wasn't forgettable. I just don't know what this was. Like what they were doing with it. Um, so yeah, it wasn't like extremely bad where it took me out of the show like some of the other ones, but yeah, I didn't get hurt. Okay, this next one is looking forgettable to me. Ortiz, I think probably just cannon fodder on the ship. I don't remember her. Petrovic. So I think this is the one who sabotaged the ship. Because he got on the video screen with Boy Cavalier, how they hide these communications and stuff until like somebody decides they want to go look for him. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, he was fine. I thought he was okay. Like, he served his role. Wasn't like distractingly stupid or anything. Then we have Rahim. So Rahim was a little bit cooler. He was I don't know if he was the doctor or something like that, but he was the other one who died when the guy's chest busted open with the poison. He and the other scientist lady. But this guy I liked more. I liked his personality. I thought he was fine. I'm gonna have him as good for now. And then this guy is one of the Rashidi. Yeah. So Rashidi is friends with, he's like in the strike team or whatever with the brother. So Hermit like gets taken in there, and then they come in and find him eventually. So they like reunite. He and this girl here, and maybe somebody else. But anyway, I didn't. He was just like inconsequential to me. Like, I had no. He was fine, but just, I don't know that he did anything. Like, I would have forgot that he was in the show unless I just saw him. Then this guy, the old like mechanic, guy you like to have on the ship to fix stuff. Shmuel is his name. Fix, complains that it takes too long to fix stuff, or the ship's not going to be able to get somewhere because we didn't fix whatever. He was fine. He was fine. He was okay. He was just, one of those kind of chalk characters. And then we have Siberian, I think is her name. So Siberian is like a mercenary. I didn't feel like those mercenaries were like actually mercenaries. The little team that I didn't even think they were necessary in the show. I don't know what they were doing. She ends up getting killed by some like cocoon thing that drops down from the ceiling like a plant. I thought her character was kind of dumb. Like, I I didn't need it. I probably put Rashidi down there too. Like I don't get what they were doing. They're just mercs that needed to go around with guns and shoot stuff and die with some level of consequence because you've seen them before. All right, then we have Slightly. Slightly is an important character. He's a lost boy who gets threatened, blackmailed, and is the one who has to try to get the alien off the island. So the island is Protogens or whatever the company's supposed to be called. And he is threatened by Morrow and just keeps, kind of listening to him. Morrow's like somehow in his head, like implanted something in his head so he could talk to him. And slowly convinces him, and then once he like kind of backs off, he goes and finds his family and like threatens his mom because he tricked him into knowing his name and his real name, human name, because he was like a lost boy name at this point. But he caves, and then he ends up finding a way to get the doctor Arthur in the room, and the face hugger gets him, and he's got to drag the face hugger out, and he gets out of the room just in time before the flying things were coming after him, maybe. And then they're trying to like drag him out. He hides him under his bed. Then one of his friends comes in. I get the need for the character, I guess, because you have these lost boys. He kind of got on my nerves over time. I don't know if I should call him. I'm gonna kind of, he got on my nerves. I'm gonna call him dumb. Now that said, like this actor, I'm sure it was fine because I felt like he was acting like a child. So kudos to him. All right, then we go to Smee. So Smee is the friend of Slightly, and he's the one who finds him when he gets Arthur and puts him under his bed, and Smee insists on coming in, and then he finds him, and he's like arguing with him, but then he ends up helping him to try to get him out, to save him. There's like a bit of a mislead. They both think they're like saving him or something. He's gonna be fine. Well, he ends up getting a chest buster on the beach, and they both are there to witness that. So that is damning for him. But Smee was fine. I think Smee was okay. Of all the Lost Boys, I liked him. Oh, this is Sullivan. I don't know Sullivan. Sullivan is forgettable. She's on the ship. She's maybe another one of these where it's like, oh, got face hugged or something, so we had some aliens. I don't remember. It's just, don't recognize her. And then we have Tang. So, okay, Tang is like this weird dude everybody's like looking at, like, what's wrong with this guy? Feels like a serial killer or something. You question, is he a synth? I don't remember if they revealed if he is or not. He does get killed by the alien, so I don't know if they were like, oh, there's blood, therefore he's real or not. But I don't think he really did anything. Like I don't remember him like doing something mischievous, or maybe it was just that they questioned whether he was the saboteur, and he seems like the saboteur. But that was about it. So they didn't really do much with him. He was okay. They could have done more with him. Like, it was a fine character if they would actually done something with it, I think. All right, then we have Isaac. I think he goes by something else too. Toodles. Yeah, Toodles / Isaac. He renames himself, I think, Isaac after Isaac Newton. Maybe it's something else besides that, but he renames himself after a scientist. Because he works in the lab with Kirsch, and so his job is to be the super stringent lab right hand man, feed the creatures, do the tests, those kind of things. Well, when Kirsch isn't there, he's responsible for doing some stuff, and he's an idiot, and then he ends up opening one of the cages, and he can't get the thing to work, so he goes in and like dies because these flying things shoot acid on him, and he dies. So again, they're kids. Okay, Still, should he, even think to do that? I don't know. Maybe. I thought his character was kind of dumb. I'm going to have him down here too. And then we have Wendy. Wendy's the star of the show. She's the first lost boy. Again, I can't remember her real first name. And then she becomes Wendy. And so Boy Cavalier loves her, from being his first creation. He's fascinated by her, always insists on like learning and trying to like get her to do new things. And then like eventually she somehow figures out how to like replicate. So she kills an alien. That's the first thing. She is the one who kills the first alien from the ship, just goes into a hangar. You don't see it, and the thing's dead. She's like cut its head off or something. So she's super strong, super whatever, synth. Then knows how to talk or can like repeat how the aliens talk. So they start to try to like understand what the aliens might be saying, and then she kind of figures it out, and so she ends up having a pet alien because one comes out of her brother's lung that was like removed, and it busts out, and she's there, so she's like a mother, and then the rest is history. It's hard because it's tough to differentiate what I consider to be stupid writing versus the character itself. Like, because the actress was fine, the character was good for the most part. Like, I thought Wendy was fine. The ending was kind of stupid, and like what they did with it, not so good. But I thought she was good. Like, she carried a show. I kept watching. So we'll have Wendy up there. Then we have a couple more, and then we'll be done with this video. So this is Yutani. This is the Yutani in this one. I don't know what her first name was unless I've got it on the list here. No, I don't. So she is the one trying to get the alien over. She had the ship. The ship got stolen effectively, so she had to go negotiate with Boy Cavalier. She's okay. She's just an okay version of the Yutani clan. And then the last one we have here is, it's like Zora? No, I don't think it's Zora. Zoya. So Zoya is the like de facto captain of the ship after one of them dies. I didn't mind her for the most part. Like, I thought she was fine. She was, she's no Ripley or anything, but she's, she had enough of a presence. I liked her dynamic with the crew. Totally fine. She's the one who like got locked out and got killed by the alien because she got locked out of the main cabin. Though, again, some of the writing stuff, like at one point she's in a corridor with the alien like in her face, and she's just frozen, and it doesn't like kill her immediately. Then she runs away, and it doesn't like catch up to her. Right, but it didn't make much sense. But I thought she was fine. I kind of liked her. I'll have her in the good category as well. If they'd had a better story around her, I think she was fine. So that gets us through Alien Earth. We still have a long way to go, but you see that Alien Earth carried a lot of characters. So again, we will have some in Awesome. These are going to move up and move around, but I wanted to like not put a lot in Awesome and bring them down. And then we have honestly some better movies coming up too. So we'll start there next time.